What if everything that has ever happened to you was necessary? Not just acceptable, not just survivable, necessary. Consider the gravity of this thought. Every failure, every betrayal, every loss, not a punishment, but a curriculum, a tailor-made syllabus from the universe, teaching you the lessons you most needed to learn. Pause. In a world where we often see ourselves as victims of circumstance, this perspective shatters the paradigm. It demands of us a profound transformation. No longer are we leaves blown by the winds of fate. We become sovereigns of our destiny. Pause. The ancient Stoics embraced this radical notion. Amor Fati, love your fate. A philosophy that asks us to see the storm not as an enemy, but as a forge. A dark storm where lightning illuminates the path to what we are meant to become. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, faced unimaginable personal and public adversities. 5 of his children lost to mortality. A devastating plague ravaged the empire, decimating 1/3 of its population. His trusted general, Avidius Cassius, betrayed him, declaring himself emperor. Yet, in the midst of these ruins, Marcus wrote in his Meditations, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." Pause. He did not merely endure these trials. He transmuted them into fuel for his virtue. This emperor, surrounded by chaos, became a citadel of calm. Every sorrow, every betrayal was a stone in the fortress of his character. In the crucible of fate, Marcus Aurelius was not broken. He was forged anew. His life, a testament to the power of loving one's fate. The Stoics articulated a powerful formula. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Pause. When the plague descended upon Rome, Marcus Aurelius did not collapse like the walls of the Colosseum. Instead, he stood as the unshakable center that held the empire together. The obstacle was not a barrier, it was a path through the dark forest of uncertainty. Every challenge was an opportunity to reinforce his resolve, to demonstrate virtue in action. The calamity that could have shattered an empire instead shaped its leader. Marcus Aurelius became the embodiment of Stoic resilience, a living example that every stone thrown in our path is an invitation to build a stronger road. Seneca, the wealthiest man in Rome, sought hardship not to suffer, but to prepare. He deliberately embraced discomfort, sleeping on the floor, eating meagerly, walking without a cloak in the biting cold, not because he enjoyed suffering, but to arm himself against fate's capriciousness. Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, he advised. Pause. In these voluntary trials, Seneca rehearsed for adversity, ensuring that when fate's hammer fell, he was ready. His wealth was not a shield, but a tool for self-discipline. By choosing hardship, he transformed every potential blow into a familiar caress. A man who had decided that fate's worst was already part of his daily routine. Reflect on your greatest failure. Now ask yourself, what quality did it force you to cultivate? Patience, humility, resilience? Pause. In the pain, there was a lesson that could not have been learned otherwise. The wound was a teacher, shaping your character with precision. Amor Fati is not the denial of pain, but the embrace of the transformation it offers. It is extracting from suffering the alchemical gold of wisdom. This reframing of wounds into wisdom is not a mere coping mechanism. It is the Stoics' art of turning scars into maps, guiding us to a more profound understanding of ourselves. In every wound, a lesson resides, waiting to be unveiled by those who dare to love their fate. When you love your fate, you become invincible, not because nothing bad happens to you, but because nothing bad can diminish you. Pausa. Every blow becomes a chisel shaping your soul. Every loss, a teacher bestowing wisdom. Every betrayal, a test designed precisely for your growth. This is the core of Amor Fati. To not just endure, but embrace. To not just accept, but love. In this love, the Stoic finds an unassailable fortress, a citadel where fate's fiercest storms cannot penetrate. Here lies the secret weapon of the Stoic, an indomitable spirit forged by the fires of fate, resilient beyond measure. A warrior who, in loving his fate, stands undefeated.